The Law of the Land artwork will be a possum skin cloak figure, as if someone is standing within the cloak. It'll be 2.4 metres high and made from cast steel and cast iron, and it's representing Aboriginal knowledge and the ancestors and creation and the law of the land. And the possum skin cloak is a significant cultural item, and whilst it's a vessel, it's kind of empty, there's no real body inside. It's embodying that spirit of country and place and the ancestors. The concept is an inclusive concept. It's not a particular story from my country, which is Gunditjmara country, or the Kulin country that we're on. It's representative of Aboriginal knowledge and law and the ever-presence of our place as First Peoples in this country. So it's representing place in country and that belonging and our status as a First Nations people. We have a memory imprint, which is like a shadow that will be representing Bunjil, the great creator spirit who watches over the country and makes sure, that things are okay, or he might do something about it.
This whole project fills me with pride because I've been a long-term staff member at RMIT. I've been engaged with the new academic street development right from its inception. And we wanted to do more than just build a building, but to build a building that had presence.
This is the first time that we've been able to have a discussion and then a representation of sovereignty at RMIT to see a better future between Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and all others. I'm really excited to see how people will engage with it, even if the intention is just to make an inquiry of itself.
What was really enriching in this project is that we had several collaborators work with us and several stakeholders, and managing each of their views and opinions about the process was highly important. So we had the opportunity to work with Indigenous senior members within the university and to be guided by their insights into their cultural background.
So there was a group of Indigenous students that were involved in the initial project development. I organised and facilitated a workshop for these students. They were given the opportunity to share their ideas and feedback on what they would like to see for a permanent Indigenous public artwork at the university, and their feedback has been embedded into the project brief. Around 20 artists were formed into a list that were selected down to 5 after consultation with the advisory committee, and those artists were invited to present a concept proposal in response to the project brief, where one artist was selected.
I'm hoping the presence of the work will be evocative and emotive. The viewer standing there not knowing anything about it will be motivated enough to try to understand what they're feeling, because I'm wanting them to feel a sense of the spiritual, a sense of Aboriginal place and people, and connecting to that feeling. In the initial stage, I had to make a cloak. We made this really big cloak from raw skins, and that became the model for the rest of the work and the processes after that. So we had to model a plaster cast like on a dressmaker's model. Then we had to upsize it to the real size of what the work was going to be.
To actually take moulds from that complex form was difficult. I think that's what gives it the reality that it's got. I've used cast iron before, but not in that sort of form. And it was a very complex set of moulds to make to do the cast iron. The three of us would just work well together. I think a true collaboration over the years.
I'm really privileged and honoured to work with Jeph and Hilary, because I recognise and pay respects to their whole knowledge that they've shared with me and enabled me to be able to do the things that I've been able to do with them.
Wurrunggi Biik, which is the law of the land, still here. And I think to have a marker in our landscape to remind all people that, we had a civilization that used the resources of the land. So this is a marker that is in our landscape that reminds us of the past and where we're heading in the future.
I believe the artwork will encourage us to stop, to reflect, to think about its message, and to take that reflection with us as we progress with the daily activities that we do.
The diversity of the RMIT community and what we all hope to have as a shared future becomes really an interesting aspect of the artwork itself, because its role and its brief was centrally to give people the opportunity to question their own place. It celebrates diversity by privileging the obvious, which is, what are we all founded on? We're all founded on Kulin Nations land.
It's also nice to think that we do have the creator inside the cloak itself, watching over what's happening in the street or into the buildings, and that can also be depicted in the way that we like to look over the people of our community in here. It'll start to open up a more honest conversation about place and where we belong as Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, but where we're going to as Australian people.
I think Law of the Land will make a big contribution to how Indigenous issues are dealt with in RMIT, in the community here, and is already happening, but I think it will make a contribution because really that's part of its intent, is to maintain a presence